Hello, this is Lorelei Rutledge, Research and Information Services Librarian at the University of Utah's Marriott Library. Today's tutorial will give a brief overview of EndNote Web, a popular citation management system. So first, we're going to start on the library homepage at www.lib.utah.edu. If you're off campus, please take a moment to click on the green button with the key that says Off-Campus Access and sign in using your unit and password. This will make sure that you have access to all of the library resources. So I'm going to go ahead and log in, and then once I'm on this page again, I'll click on Article Databases above the USearch search box, click on E, and navigate down to EndNote Web. So you'll see that under the EndNote Web link, there's a little bit of information about what EndNote Web can do. Although it normally has a fee, the University of Utah libraries have paid for University of Utah patrons to have a free account. This web-based service helps students and researchers through the process of writing a research paper by helping to organize and format references, create bibliographies, and collect other information related to research. So if we click on the link, the first thing that we'll be asked to do is register for an account. So if you click up here on Sign Up for an Account, you'll be directed to put in your University of Utah email address and select a password. I've already done that, so I'm going to just go ahead and sign in. One piece of advice, though, is that you should make sure that you don't use the same password that's associated with your UID account. So I'm going to go ahead and log in, and then you'll see that I'm taken to a starting tab called My References. For you, this page is just going to show some basic information about how to use EndNote Web. Since I already have some references in my account, they're going to show up on this first page. You'll see that over here on the left, under this My References heading, I can click and see a list of all my references. I could see any that I haven't yet put into a group folder, and I can also see my groups. So I've created a group called Disability and Sport as a way to organize some of my references related to that topic. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Collect tab. The first option on your left is the online search. I'm not going to show you this today because in my experience it doesn't normally work very well and it takes a long time. So we're going to skip to the New References button and discuss how to create a reference manually. So you'll see here that under the New Reference, you have an option to select a drop-down menu called Reference Type. Here you can tell it what kind of item you're citing. Based on what you select, you'll be given a variety of bibliographic fields to fill in. So you may not know the answer to all of these, but you can just fill in what you have with as much information as is available. So I'm going to pretend that I wrote a book and I want to fill it in. You want to make sure, as you're doing this, that you're really careful to avoid any typos and to put in as much information as you can find. So once I've entered as much information as I have about my item, I can go ahead and scroll down, and I should get the option to save my reference. So then, once my reference is saved, if I go back up here and click on Unfiled, I'm going to see the new book that I entered. However, there are easier ways to collect references as well. You can also import references from a variety of databases. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because I've done another tutorial designed to address this, but basically this option will allow you to import references from a variety of library databases. Our next option is to organize. So the way that EndNote Web lets you organize is by using groups. So if I go to Manage My Groups, you'll see here that I have two groups listed. Basically, groups are ways that I can organize my references based on different projects I'm doing. So over here, I can also manage sharing. So I can share this group with another set of people. If I click on Start Sharing, I'll be able to enter email addresses of people that I want to be able to see this material. I can say that I want them to be able to read only or to read and write, so add references. So this can be a good way to collaborate with people who you'd like to be able to see your references. I can also click on Others groups, and if other people have shared groups with me, I'll be able to see them here. The Find Duplicates option is if you want to check your references to make sure that you haven't accidentally imported something twice. Manage Attachments is useful if you have a subscription where you can upload and attach PDFs. We don't have that on EndNote Web, so I'm going to skip this. Now let's go to Format. The first option is to format a bibliography. So if I click on this, this is going to let me automatically export a bibliography. So if I said under References that I wanted to export a bibliography of all my references, then I could select my bibliographic style. If you're using APA 6th, it's located under APA 6. So I can scroll down and see APA 6th here. Then, under File Format, I can say that I want to export this as HTML, TXT, or RTF. I'm just going to pick RTF. Then I have these options to save it, email it, or preview and print. I'm just going to select preview and print so that we can see it. And so you'll see here that it's automatically exported my bibliography to a page so that I can look for it. The advantages of using something like EndNote Web is that if I have exported this bibliography once in APA and then I change my mind and say, oh, I want to do it in something different, like atherosclerosis. So I want to send this to the Journal of Atherosclerosis and I want this to fit their bibliographic style. I could redo my preview and print, and it would actually change these to match those requirements for citation. So the next thing that I can do is do Cite While You Write. I'm not going to go into this because it's the subject of another tutorial, but Cite While You Write allows you to automatically format a bibliography in the paper that you're writing and also automatically insert in-text references or footnotes. Next, I have the option to format a paper. So basically what this allows me to do is format a paper that I'm writing according to the guidelines of a bibliographic style. So let's see a sample paper just so we can see what this does. So I downloaded the sample paper, and what this will do is put your references out here, and also if you have headings set up, it will set up your headings for you. This is usually not as useful as kind of doing the paper first and then getting it set up, but it is an option. You can also export references, and so what that means is that if you select the references that you want to export, so I'll say disability and sport, you can export them so that they work with another kind of citation format. So I could pick tab delimited and export these, for example, into an Excel. Down here at the options page, this is where you can change your personal information like your email address and password, or download any installers. So this is where you would download the installer for Cite While You Write if you wanted to. So this is just a very brief overview of EndNote Web, but please refer to my other tutorials for further information about how to import references from databases and use Cite While You Write.